Five stocks to buy in 2026 for huge gains right now. If you don't know who I am, my name is Simon the Trader. I've been a trader for the last 20 years, and I am here to help you make better investment and trading decisions. If you do appreciate this video, please do like it, think about subscribing, and let's jump into the first stock. Okay, so the first stock I'm going to be sharing with you is Tesla, TSLA. And this should need no introduction to most of you out there. Obviously, it's pretty much a household name right now. They have the best selling car in the world for, I think it might be the third year running, maybe the second year running, not quite sure, in the Model Y, I believe. And Tesla is a stock that is seriously going places. Last year, Elon Musk agreed a brand new share package, an incentive package that is based on primarily not only company targets in terms of things like car sales and profits and revenues and margins, but it's also based heavily on the share price. So this is going to incentivize one of the world's most smartest men, certainly the world's most richest man, to actually really put a lot of his ideas and innovation through Tesla to get that Tesla price really up. He is all in on Tesla with this new pay deal. The stock did rally at the time, but look, I think there's an opportunity here. And if you can pick up Tesla in this box here, anything between really the current price at 440 and coming down to about 395, I think that is a fantastic buy for the rest of this year. I'm personally targeting a move up to here around about sort of 520. That would actually cause a breakout of the recent highs, and I think we could then see extension up to $600 this year. So let's just take our measurement from the middle of that box. That would be around about sort of 22% upside from here, and about a 40, let's go all the way up to 600, about a 44% upside. So I think Tesla's a great buy here, and that is the first stock on my list. So the next stock on my list is Meta, another company that should need no introduction. Right now, Meta is trading up against this longer term trend line. It has tested it. Let's go back in time. It has tested it once. Did it test down here? No, twice. A third test. So I'm looking for this to hold as support again. Obviously, you'd want to have your stops probably below this 100-week moving average. Could we come down all the way to the 100-week moving average? Yes, we probably could consolidate here for a bit before taking off. But I really do think over the course of this year, Meta makes its way back to all-time highs. And from the current price back to all-time highs is going to be a 28% gain. Obviously, if we come a bit lower, say to the 100-week moving average, you're going to be looking at closer to a 35% gain just to get back to new all-time highs. Of course, I personally think Meta will go higher than that. So with this pullback, obviously, if we look at the current price of Meta, we can see we are currently trading at a 21% discount to the all-time highs. So I think this will get back to all-time highs this year, and that is my number 2 pick for 2026. So the third stock on my list is SMCI, Super Micro Computer. And look, this is a highly volatile stock. It has been as high as $123 per share. It is currently trading at a fraction of that at $32 per share. If we actually look at the current percentage that it is off its all-time highs, it is 74% down. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to go straight back to all-time highs this year. However, it is looking like a juicy setup with this long-term ascending trend line starting to come into play just a little bit below price. If we came down tomorrow and hit that, it would be about $25. I think that would be an excellent buying opportunity, but I'm already starting to scale in, okay? The fact we are below this 200-week moving average, I think is a steal for a high growth stock in a high growth industry. Obviously, it's got the narrative, it's got the AI exposure, and I do think that Super Microcomputer will pick up again, at least coming up to the more recent highs here at around about $60, that would be an 88% move. So obviously, as we're going through these stocks, we're starting to move along the risk curve, obviously higher risk than a stock such as Meta or a stock, which was the first one I shared with you, Tesla. So obviously position accordingly, but in terms of my money, I am happy to scoop up SMCI anywhere around these levels. Like I say, the return to be had is most definitely there. I think if we are analyzing this from what we could expect to see, really, you could draw in this diagonal coming down here, and you'd really want to see a breakout of this level. So, we might chop around, we might bounce about a bit, but really you want to see that sort of breakout, maybe a retest, and this would be the ideal place to go long. But of course, I'm starting to position in now. I think this is a great price for this stock, and that is why it's number 3 on my list to buy in 2026. So number 4 on the list is Occidental Petroleum. You can see we've actually got this on a monthly chart. So this one could be a little bit of a slower mover. As you can see, we don't see the same volatility as we see in some of the AI chip stocks, for example, SMCI. However, Oxy or OXY, I think, is going to be setting itself up here for a major breakout at some point. And this for me is well worth playing as a trade because you can run a tight stop below this trend line here. Of course, I would be wanting to manually manage this myself. So a wick below this trend line would not completely take me out of the trade. I'd want to see at least a couple of weekly closes below that trend line to actually invalidate it. But this is what we're looking at. We're looking at potentially a push up to around 57 or so, and then potentially some sort of resolution out of this pattern at some point. You can see we have tried to break through before, but we have been unable to. And I think if it's ever going to do it, it's probably going to be this year. Obviously, you get a bit of a exposure to the oil price. I think the oil price probably goes up this year. We've seen obviously precious metals, commodities, gold, silver really start to rally. We haven't seen oil yet move. I think this will be the year that oil does move back to around maybe $80, $90 a barrel maximum on the upside as the economy continues to expand and we see global growth continuing to accelerate as we have done over the last few quarters. And I do think certain petroleum companies will be a beneficiary of this. And as you can see, if we were not even to go back to all-time highs, but if we were to make it back to the highs following the COVID low, which was basically September 2022, from current prices, you are looking at a 77% gain, which is a really nice gain on what is really quite a sort of stable and longer, sorry, or shall I say slightly less risky in my opinion, stock, which is obviously a little bit slower moving, but can be a nice diversification to a portfolio if you're heavily exposed to sectors like AI, and this could add some nice balance. So that's why it makes the list. And the final stock making this list is Rich Tech Robotics, or RR. So as we can see, Rich Tech, it topped, well, it wasn't an all-time high. Its all-time high is all the way up at $12.30, but it actually topped fairly recently in October last year at around about $7.45. A move back there from here is going to be an 88% move. So that is a really, really decent gain just to get back to all-time highs. But I actually think this stock can go on further from there and that it can actually make it back to this trend line that it's hit a couple of times already as resistance. Depending when that happens, I could see Rich Tech getting up here maybe over the next couple of months, and we could be at a price point of around about $8.50, which would be 114% gain. So obviously higher risk, higher reward. It's not one that I'm throwing all my chips into by any means, but as part of a diversified portfolio, I think Rich Tech is a really good add around these prices. Obviously, the AI narrative is not going away. Robotics seems to be picking up some traction and momentum as a narrative in itself. And I do think Rich Tech will benefit and really see some nice growth over the next couple of years. And look, it could go far, far higher, but I think at this level, after this pullback, it's an absolute no-brainer add for me, myself, personally. So I'm going to leave the video there. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed these top 5 stock market picks for 2026. If you have, I'd really appreciate it if you could smash the like and subscribe for more videos like this. Coming up, I'm going to try and do a top stocks picks video once every month and probably a lot more content around that. There will be weekly stock market content letting you know what stocks I'm buying, when I'm buying them, and what price levels I'm looking at. So, yes, if you have enjoyed, like I say, please do help support the channel. If there's things you want to see me review, stocks you want to see me review in future videos, feel free to comment down below. What is it you are buying? What is your opinion on these stocks? Are you bullish? Are you bearish on them? I'd be really, really interested to know. And I will talk to you all on the next one. Bye for now.